This day 386 is Zohar Pshat. I'm going to go back a bit, still on top of Membo Rav. And it's a pretty powerful idea today, according to, of course, the Mephosheh Zohar. It's extremely esoteric, but I'm not going to go with the esoteric idea, but rather with the more of the Remez, Post and Sod, the Musar idea here. Rabbi Shimon said, the top line. Membo Rav. Rabbi Shimon saw the light that's good. There'll be no anger in it. Now, how do we avoid having anger in this or? Steve Hacha Kito says here that the or is tov. So it says by Bilam, Kito ben Hashem v'rechas Yisrael. It was good in Hashem's eyes to bless the Jews, and not without any clothes, and therefore Bilam didn't attempt any clothes. Now, there was. Obviously, the inference is that it was possible for there to be a klola. There's certainly room for a klola. But Akash Baruch Hu said, no, I don't want there to be a klola. And Bilam saw, okay, no klola. So the idea is that there is a way to separate bad from good and isolate look at the good. And then even when then you come back and look at the bad, you won't get angry. It won't disturb you. So evidently, there's this idea of course, we have this idea of Kol Man Dov Rachman Otav. Every Kodesh Baruch Hu does, he does for good. And if a person really, really believed in that, the Munah Shlema, and acted accordingly, the person would never get angry at anything. Of course, we're not holy that Madrega. But if we're holy man Madrega, so we never get angry. But how do you get there? I mean, how do you say, so you have to evidently first separate the or and look at what you know is good and extrapolate from that and say, okay, Tam Uruki Tov Hashem. See that Kodesh Baruch was good. We had a pasuk, I think, recently here in the Zohar. Tam Uruki Tov Hashem. See that Kodesh Baruch was good, and then you'll be able to look and say, you know what? Even when I'm confronted with the bad, I'm going to be able to say, okay, but I know about the good, and therefore the bad must also be something not to get angry about, but also part of Ratzon Hashem. So the or has to be separate and distinct and recognizable and understood. The point one can grasp it, and then one can go back and say, even if or v'chosher mishtamshim b'revuvia. Even light and darkness get confused together, I know it's good. And there's no room for anger. And again, it's very high madrega. It's very hard for any of us to try and reach it. But this is what he's saying here. It says, Bilam saw, okay, there's plenty of bad stuff, but Hakadosh Baruch Hu's focused on the good. I have to focus on the good, and therefore I'm not going to go and be makalo despite whatever bad there is. So here too, the or is good. So it's going to get mixed up with cheshek, and it's going to be what seems to be bad. No, once I know that the or is good, I can go back and say, I don't understand it necessarily. Come out there, okay, that's it says the site for the krah, the end of the pasuk uchach proves this. But Hashem separated between the light and darkness, and said, look at the light, right? Never there's no anger. But I forgot the sheet. Even though later on we're going to see more in the next paragraph, because Baruch Hu put them back together again, or cheshek, and there's light and darkness together, and the darkness is lack of understanding, and the darkness is something which should make a person upset. Nevertheless, the or separated out and then put back together again gives the person a tool to try and understand. Tachazeh comes a C. Niri law the mevi noy high or. There's a higher light which illuminates with this light when it's separate from the choshech. And from this light, there's joy for everybody. It causes simcha. Because you see, right? You see that there's a reason to be besimcha, a reason to see everything being good. V'yamina, it's the right side, the side of chesed. Least atra, to adorn gufei, glifin badei, to adorn all those things which are carved together with it, which presumably is that the rest, which is not so much or, but these is like the Urim and Tumim, right? The or illuminates the carvings of the letters. Things are illuminated from the or, and therefore even things which seem to be dark can be illuminated and perceived to be a positive way. Again, it's not easy, but it can be done. For Yamina, at least Acha Gufe, Kalifim Badei, to illuminate those things that are engraved with it. And that's concerning this, see, Marav Tufchash, it's a Fantariecho Pa'ato Chosim Bo. How great is this goodness? Tufcha, good, right? Or and Tov are linked together. Which you hid for those who are to fear you. Pa'ato Chosim Bo, you gives it activates those who trust on Kosh Baruch Hu. It's this what it has to activate them, activates them, and they're able to see even the choshech the or. Like in the or kahina but nothing bigo chashocha, as we always say in the Zohar, near Reb Tzadok, right? That you can see the nora bigo chashocha. Marav tuvcha, how great is the tov? The or kadmod, it's the original or. The gonis kuchbila yirecha the tzadikim. It's hidden for the tzaddikim. Those are like we said. But here we're missing the normal end of that same in Lasi Lovo. So it seems that there's not that about Lasi Lovo necessarily. Of course, Lasi Lovo, the Ored is going to be apparent to everybody. But those people who are the Chalei Chato, Yirei Chet, that means they don't want to mess up. They're afraid Lachtiat Matara, to miss the bullseye, miss the target in this world. For them, they can have simcha in this world, even the simcha of the Oragonus, which is Tamru Kov Hashem, Koman Tavavi. It's only the highest Madrigal Gamzu Lateva of the Nachalis Gamzu. They can taste that in this world, and that's the Madrigal Nachalis Gamzu. The highest Madrigal reaches this world is that he saw the or in everything. That in all the Chayshech, when he was suffering the tremendous amount, no, for him it was all or. So that or is a friend, and he says to Rabbi Akiva, "Oim lo risinekach." Woe to if you didn't see me suffering this way. Again, he's not Madrigal's way above anything we can possibly imagine about ourselves. But at least we should know they're there and they exist. Rishon Bar Chaim was talking about them and saying that there's a place where there's no roges, places no rischa. That place is no rischa is the place where the person who's yirei chet can be in this world because he knows about the or, and even when the or gets mixed in the koshek, it still is the ner l'raglov, the candle that illuminates his way, and brings him to a state where he can be, and of course the highest midah of all, and it's it's the midah of hishtavus, where everything is the same. There's no reason ever to get angry. Now, Kosh Baruch Hu Mizaka, each one of us, to the extent we can possibly achieve it, which perhaps is Mechza L'Shlusha Raviyah, partially in some way, shape, or form, to have that midah of Ishtabus and midah of Gamzu Teva. And if anybody who's listening or watching give me the bracha that I can be such a midah of Ishtabus, that'd be great.